All right, today's life lesson, boys and girls, is focus. You've heard a lot about this subject, but I want to touch on it my way, all right? First thing I want to talk to you about, Dylan, I'm not saying this because he told me he played video games yesterday, but I see this all the time, where a child in a classroom really struggles with his focus. A child, in an airport. I was at the airport the other night with my children, and even they, struggling with their focus. They sit down and read a book, they get really bored really quickly. But what's amazing is when you sit down and if somebody like Dylan would sit down and do a video game, or anybody else enjoy video games, raise your hand. Ben could raise his hand. Ben can literally sit at a video game for 6 hours straight, and time flies like it is nothing. I mean, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours go by like it is nothing. That is focus, boys and girls. That is focus. And here's one of my biggest beliefs, okay? My biggest beliefs, if we go back to our thing that we talked about yesterday, which is passion, it's easier to stay focused if you're passionate about it, okay? So everybody's attention, everyone's attention wanders at some point. Does that make sense? So I have a few tricks for you, okay? How do you stay present? How do you stay present in the moment? Like I'm talking right now, and I was actually sometimes I like to watch myself I watch the YouTube video that they put up just to see, am I engaging? Do I talk, am I clear enough? Am I talking? Because then I didn't give you a lot of life lessons this week. I can be boring, I get it. One of the things I want you to try to do is when you feel your mind wander, as I'm talking to you right now, and every word that I'm saying, as I'm talking to you right now, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about my words coming out of my mouth? Are you thinking about something else? And I know all of you have had both. You really are dialed in and engaged. I listen to a lot of audio tapes almost every time I'm in my car. I call it, Automobile University. Every time I'm in my car, I listen to an audio tape because I want the knowledge. But sometimes I'm driving to Philadelphia or something on a longer trip, and I check out for 20 minutes. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, turn it off. But no, you know what? Now I understand when I check out, how to check back in, okay? I don't care sometimes that you check out. What I worry about is when you check out and you don't know you check out, and you can't check back in. Does that make sense to everybody? If it makes sense, say yes!
Yes!
Do you know why I do that? Does anybody know why I do that? Raise your hand if you know why I do that. Aiden. Focus, right? I want to make sure that you're engaged and you're paying attention. That's my way of bringing you back. Because if you're like, I'm like, I wonder what we're having for lunch today. And you know what? And my voice kind of sounds like that. Yes, I'm back. You know what I mean? So you may have faded off to La La Land for a little bit, but you came back. So what is the biggest thing that I need you to pay attention to when you're out on the tennis court and you're hitting tennis balls and you're ripping? You might not be thinking that much. You might be thinking about something else, but things are just working. But when they stop working, right, you got to dial yourself back in, all right? So I say a lot of times to people, you got to focus on focusing. Focusing just doesn't just happen. You have to focus on focusing. The one thing that I talk about is practicing focusing. How do you practice on focusing? If you struggle, if you're one of those people, and I know, and I'm probably going to get in trouble, I probably should not even say it, but I know there's a lot of different stuff out there for, people talking about attention and stuff like that. I get that. And sometimes, definitely there's time and a place for everything. But what I'm talking about is being able to focus for 1 minute straight. 1 minute. Time it. And when you get to 1 minute, do 2 minutes. Right? When I'm out on the tennis court and I'm hitting balls, I can't tell you how many times I lose my focus. As I was getting older and older, I became more and more aware of it, and my focus would just go. I'm like, gosh, where did it go? I could be out on the court, just dialed in, and I mean, now it's kind of, everything comes second nature, and all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't been focusing for the last 10 minutes. And that's 8 minutes too long for me. I usually let myself have a 2 minute dial out window, but I gotta dial it back in. So I want you guys to work on really bringing it back when you're losing it. All right, that's the most important part. So you're going to work on it this afternoon when you get back out on the court. You're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to, even if you don't have a watch, you're going to time it. And you're gonna say, look, if I can stay for 1 minute where I can just watch the ball, this is what I'll do. I'll move my feet, and I literally say, for 1 minute straight, and I feed the ball, can I read the number on the ball? So I'm hitting tennis balls, bam, bam, and I'm looking at the ball coming in, okay? I might, if I'm playing with Sean or Ben, these guys, the ball has so much topspin on, do you think I could probably read the ball? No, but if they hit a flatter ball, I'm seeing that ball. And it's amazing, sometimes I'll just get a glimpse of it, and boom, it'll come in and I'll see a 5. And that 5 just looks like it's a big 5. So that's how I practice. I always tell people there's 3 balls on a tennis court, okay? There's 3 balls, I want you to remember this, all right? There's a golf ball, which is smaller than a tennis ball. That's usually when you're getting your butt kicked. Right? There's a tennis ball, okay? That's usually when it's even. And then there's a basketball, and that's usually when you win it. And you're hitting, I'm playing with somebody, I'm playing with an opponent, I'm winning 6-3, 3-1, and I'm striking the ball, and everything, I mean, can you imagine if a basketball had as much liveliness as a tennis ball, and you were hitting it, it's just how good it would feel, and my feet felt like, and everything feels like it's in slow motion. That's focus. And I practice that all the time. I didn't wake up one morning and go, whoa, I'm a focuser. No, I probably, if you hung around me, you asked, Kelly, my assistant, you asked her, I am, ADD. I could fly off it really quick. I get it, right? But when the things that I know that I need to do, I really dial it in. So I want you guys to work on it this afternoon, and I want you to be dialed in, all right? Not so much that you got to be dialed in for the whole hour, but bring it back when you lose it. Good life lesson, say yes!
Yes!
Are you having a good time at GZ Tennis Camp? Say yes!
Yes!
How do you feel?
I feel good! Oh, I feel so good! Ah!
You guys rock my world. Let's get back on the court and work.